J-Drone here. This is Holy Stone's X401 altitude hold drone that has features out the wazoo. Right now I'm going to show you the basic features. I'm going to show you that it flips nicely. We're going to maintain a certain altitude. We'll go up, maintain altitude, show you that the altitude hold works. As you can see right here, it's not bouncing up and down. I'm not using the throttle stick. It's staying at a certain altitude. As you can see, it barrel rolls very nicely. If you go back and check out my RTF flight, that'll give you a vague idea how long the flight you're going to get out of the box with this. But this right here is just a general look at the drone. It's flyability. This does have features as far as using a touchpad or using a cell phone to fly it through the app. You also have a monitor part of the app where you can see what the drone's seeing, and you can record off of the app onto whatever device that you're using as well. Right now we're not recording. We're just, again, showing you the flyability of the drone and also a couple of its flip features. As you can see, we're high up there. I'm able to flip, no issues whatsoever. I am dealing with a 4-mile-an-hour wind that we are actually flying directly into, so occasionally you'll see it kind of fly behind me and then I'll thrust forward. That's a safety precaution. If you're going to be flying, especially in a wide open area like this where there are no trees to kind of damper that wind, you always want to fly into the wind. That way if anything happens, the wind's essentially going to bring the drone back to you. This is a very nice drone. You do have Wi-Fi capabilities, as I said. You do also have onboard recording capabilities with a micro SD card that goes into it that is controlled by the controller simply by pressing down on the button next to your power switch and up on the button next to your power switch to take pictures. This is a very brightly colored drone. Definitely not going to lose it in the sky. I don't foresee the sky ever turning yellow. If it did, then yeah, you'd probably lose it, but again, I don't foresee that happening ever. The sun, however, if you do fly through the sun, not so much through the sun, but through your visual perspective with the sun behind it, you'll get sun blind momentarily and lose the drone at some point, which we're probably going to do here because the sun is directly above me to the left, and it's very, very bright. There's some funnels for you. They're really not tight, fast funnels. They're kind of a slow funnel. Not bad though. As you can see, range, we're getting decent range here. Beginner flyers, if you're learning to fly, where I'm flying is essentially the area you should be flying. If you go back and look at my other videos on YouTube, search J-Drone, you'll see I fly in close quarters. I fly in trees, I fly under trees, I fly over trees. That's not suggested for a beginner. We do have 1 or 2 trees to the right of me and some off in the distance, but for the most part we're treeless here. As you can see, this is flipping and barrel rolling in quick succession here very nicely. If you are into it for the acrobatics, as you can see, it's acrobatic. It flips and barrel rolls very nicely. And again, that's just the upper button on your right. The upper button on your right will send this into flip mode, and there you saw we kind of lost it in the sun for about a half a second. But the upper button on your right, if you press and hold and press forward, backwards, left, or right on your right stick, it will do left or right barrel roll, or forward and backwards, front flip, back flip. And it's maintaining altitude. It's, as you can see, it's at a certain altitude. When you have it where you want it, you don't need to touch the left stick anymore. You don't need to control your altitude. That is what altitude hold is. And there's another flip for you guys. Very stable, very smooth flyer. And as you can see, I'm taking it up there pretty high. That's decent range. And even up high I'm able to do flips, so we haven't lost contact with the controller up that high. It is binded to the controller. It's not just hovering in space waiting to reconnect with the controller. The controller is completely connected to it. And again, sun. Be careful of the sun. Be aware of where the sun is. If you're going to fly in your view of the sun, you're going to lose it for about a second, half a second. So be cautious of that. And right now I'm just trying to show you the type of speed this has. It has decent speed. It has 2 different settings. It has the first setting, has the second setting. and the second setting will allow the nose to pitch down more, which will allow the speed to increase. Right now, there we go. Try to get quick flips here for you. Bam. Right in your face flip. So if you're looking for an acrobatic drone that has tons of other features, that flies smoothly, this one might be it, guys. You can see the speed there as I'm buzzing past myself here. It's got a little bit of speed to it. This does have headless mode. Headless mode for beginner, I don't know. You got to be careful because headless mode is going to go off a base heading, or actually headless mode is good for a beginner. The return home is what you need to be careful with. The headless mode will make sure where you're standing always will be front, back, left, and right, no matter how much you yaw it. So if you yaw it so the back is now where the front was, the back is now going to be the front. So headless mode is good for beginners. That one-touch return. The one-touch return is going off your base heading. It's going off where you first started flight. So it's going to try to come back to a general direction, but it's not going to come back to the controller, just so you're aware of that. A lot of people think, oh, I press this button, it's going to come directly towards me. Bam, that button. It's to return home. One key return. And as you can see, it went over by that tree. It did not come back to me. So you need to be cautious of that, because it's not going to come directly back to you. It's going to come in a base heading. It did come back to the general direction where it took off, but it was way far right. So be careful of that, guys. This is a good quad. I will be doing a video on how to work the app, how the app works the drone, where you don't even need the controller, so stay tuned for that. And keep your eyes open, because I'm sure Holy Stone's going to have more tricks up their sleeve, and that was an auto land, which had a little bit of difficulty because of the wind. I'm J-Drone. Have a good day.